I the a-hole for ignoring my dad and the new family he's made, including his other children? My parents got divorced almost 8 years ago after my sister, who was 3 at the time, passed away. I was 10 at the time. When my sister died, my dad treated my mom terribly. He became emotionally and verbally abusive, blaming my mom for my sister's passing. He'd do this in front of me, along with lots of name-calling. My sister was born prematurely, and even though it wasn't extremely early, she had issues with her heart and stomach. A combination of complications from those issues was why she passed away. None of that was my mom's fault. My parents had in vitro fertilization to conceive my sister because they couldn't naturally have more kids after me. This whole situation really destroyed my mom and made me hate my dad. I would not have cared if he was no longer around, and for a while, I wished he would be so he'd stop treating my mom awfully. He continued during and even after the divorce. What made him stop was when I turned 13, I told him I hated him and I never wanted to see him again. I fought, with my mom's help, for the ability to stop being at his house, which I won. However, I turned 15 before I could get out of every call and visit because the judge tried to insist on contact for a while. My dad fought to have a relationship with me. I didn't want one, and I still don't. He's since remarried, and he has at least one child. He sent an invite to his wedding, which I ignored. He tried to let me know about his child, but I ignored him then too. He tried to use the 2 relatives who still talk to him to get to me, but I told them I wanted nothing to do with him or any kids he has. I don't care if that makes us half-siblings because we're never going to be family, and that's not something I'll ever feel guilty for or regret. He's still trying though, and then I got this direct message from his wife, who told me that my dad always loved me, and I had to understand what losing my sister did to him. Then she pleaded the case for her child, or children, and said they are innocent and deserve the chance to have a relationship with me. She said ignoring them meant I was furthering the hurt, and it wasn't fair to the innocent in all of this. I ignored that too, and got criticized by one of the relatives my dad talks to, who told me I was using this as a punishment, when it was time for healing and to think about the innocence of the children involved. So here's me asking if I'm the a-hole, because I still feel unmoved by all of this and still intend to ignore them, and have no relationship, even with the half-siblings. Edited to add a forgotten word. You are not the a-hole. Some people don't even have relationships with their full siblings, let alone step-siblings. Your dad has taken a long time to realize he was being unreasonable. He is now seeing the results of the law of unintended consequences. You are not a therapist for your dad's wife's kids. I'm not even sure if he realizes that, or if he simply thinks he can make it up to me. Not once did he reach out to apologize to my mom for how he treated her, and blamed her for my sister's passing. I'm going to add on to this. I am 32 years old, and my sister is 38. I've spoken to my sister 4 times in the last decade, and each time was because there was a necessity for it, not because I wanted to. She did something awful, and almost ruined our entire family because of it. I won't go into what, but suffice it to say nobody in our family speaks to her anymore unless we have no choice. Family is what you make it. It's a bond, not a shackle. You should let these family members know, the ones who are shaming you and telling you that you're in the wrong, that if they don't stop, you'll go no contact with them like you have with your father. Telling them once should be enough. After that, they need to just tell your father or whoever that you've made it clear you don't want any contact, and they won't be put in the middle. All they want is drama, and for you to be the bigger person when your father was verbally and physically harmful to your mother. That is not the correct way to handle things ever. He should have gotten therapy if the passing affected him as severely as it did, as should your mother and you. Therapy helps people get over grief. Harming someone does not. You are not the a-hole. Just tell him you already have a sibling, and she's the only sibling you're interested in. As far as innocence goes, you were innocent right up until your dear old dad took his misogynistic abuse out on your mother and you. Bearing witness to his cruelty and abuse destroyed your innocence, and he will not ever be given even a moment's time to cause you more hurt and damage. Also, dear stepmom, better hope there are no rough patches in your lives together. Just saying. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. No need to return to the source of nastiness. If they persist, pull some Harry Potter and tell him you only acknowledge full bloods, like the royals. Very well said. Side note, if I see another "but the child is innocent" comment on Reddit as a post or comment, I swear I will be very frustrated. Who cares? There are tons of innocent kids out there. We're not expected to have relationships with them, be siblings or parents to them, or take them in and adopt them. I've seen this reasoning used in some ridiculous scenarios, such as forcing someone to accept the affair child of their spouse, etc. Nobody is owed a relationship. Yes, that includes innocent children. And refusing to have a relationship with someone is not a punishment. Exactly. The original poster isn't being cold, they're choosing peace after years of pain. Protecting your mental health isn't cruel, it's brave. Not the a-hole. Your father's wife is out of line, as is the other relative. If your father and his wife haven't set expectations with their children about having a relationship with you, then they are the ones hurting the kids. You're doing nothing but protecting your peace. I would suggest blocking them all and not engaging any further. I think their child or children are only babies, so they don't need to worry about the kids wanting a connection yet. They could just avoid talking about me, and that would save any problems. There's no reason for them to know. I have my dad blocked. I blocked his wife after her direct message too, but I can only block them as they appear. Hopefully, that'll be it for contact. Script for dad's wife. Do you know how, insert father's name, treated my mom after my sister passed away? Insert egregious examples here. He is no longer my dad, he is my mom's abuser. I will never interact with him again. You want me to look out for my half-siblings? Here is my advice. Beware of my father. When things get tough, he will turn on you. He didn't hold back out of fear of hurting me, and he won't hold back out of fear of hurting my half-sibling. Protect yourself and your baby. I owe my mom's abuser nothing, and I have given you the only useful advice I have for helping my half-sibling. After this, it is up to you. Never contact me again. Ignore him more. He doesn't deserve you. He is inconsiderate, only thinking about himself and his grief, while treating your mother poorly, despite her also losing a baby. He didn't care that you were traumatized too and needed comfort. He still thinks only about himself. Original poster, you and your mother deserve better than that man. Stay away from him and don't let his wife manipulate you. Her children don't even know you well enough to love you. She and your dad are just making excuses to get you back. I would suggest you spend more time with your mother. Your dad is not a considerate person and only cares about his own hurt, not taking yours into consideration. You deserve better people in life. You are not the a-hole. The original poster has no inherited obligation to a baby their biological father had after mistreating his first wife. It's probably best to block anyone advocating on behalf of such a person. I think your dad and his family forget that you're innocent too, and all this happened to you as well. Sure, these kids have nothing to do with what happened, but they didn't live through the trauma you did, and his family didn't live with the version of your dad that you were left with. I'm especially angry for you because these people are putting all the responsibility and obligation on you. They somehow miss how badly your dad messed you up too, and you aren't the conduit for his happiness. You are not the a-hole at all. You don't owe him or his family anything. If he feels guilt for how things went down, that's on him. Pushing his family down your throat isn't for reconciliation, but to wash away his guilt. Tell his wife that you don't want to speak to her, and any more communication will be considered harassment. Tell family members that if they don't want to acknowledge the trauma you went through, and insist that you must have your dad in your life, that you'll never be able to see eye to eye, and they should not call unless they can respect your wishes and not talk about him. I absolutely hate that they expect her to be the bigger person and forget when she is just a child herself who experienced unimaginable trauma. I mean, these people are the adults and they want her to fix everything. I am so glad she is out of their lives. The loss of a child does not give someone the right to be cruel. Remember, your mother also lost her daughter. Did he ever ask you and your mother for forgiveness? I am pretty sure that he did not. You are not the a-hole. You are not the a-hole. When your dad was acting poorly, where were those same relatives? You were a child who was involved and is still involved. Ignore them, protect yourself, and protect your mom. The rest of them, including his wife, can be disregarded. She wasn't there and seems to forget that you and your mom also dealt with the loss of your sister at the same time that he decided to become abusive. You owe them nothing. They weren't even really talking to my dad until after everyone else had disowned him for the terrible things he did. Oh man. Personally, I would sit down and list every hateful thing he did to your mom. If he did those things to her while you were watching, imagine what he did when you weren't around. Then, I would send the list to her and make sure she knows exactly why you hate him. Warn her that she needs to protect those kids, because he will blame her if something happens. You are not the a-hole, of course. Send them a letter. Dad, let me make myself perfectly clear. The things you said and did after my sister passed away are unforgivable. The man you became and the way you handled your grief has left a lasting impression on me. I never want to be like you. I never want to treat a partner the way you treated mom. I will never verbally abuse the mother of my children in front of my kids, should I have them one day. So understand something. You may have your wife fooled, but I saw the real you. I know exactly who you are, and I am ashamed to be your son. Because if you were a changed man, if you felt bad about what you said and did, you would have apologized to mom 1,000 times over. But you just want to pretend it never happened because you are too weak to admit that you were a failure as a husband and a father back then. We will never have a relationship. I will never be a part of your replacement family. You need to accept that and move on. I'm all for that level of pettiness, but I wouldn't call him dad. I would use Mr. last name instead. Plus, I'd planned to change my last name after I turned 18 because I wouldn't want to be associated with him. To the relatives pushing for this because of the innocence of the children, tell them, what about my innocence as a child? I had to see and listen to him verbally mistreat my mother every single day. Even after their divorce, he didn't stop. To this day, he still treats my mother poorly. He is not part of my life, and his other kids will not be part of my life. If you keep acting on his behalf, then you will not be part of my life either. This statement, innocent and deserve the chance to have a relationship with me, is profoundly untrue. She said ignoring them just meant I was furthering the hurt, and it wasn't fair to the innocent in all of this. This is incredibly manipulative. Keep your peace and block these strangers. It's nobody's business but yours. Nobody else can tell you what to do, nor is anyone entitled to an opinion unless you ask for one. Tell your dad and his side of the family that actions have consequences. The mistreatment that you and your mother endured after the passing of your sister cannot be undone with an apology, and you no longer consider him part of your family. You are not the a-hole. Ignore them, and if she reaches out again, explain to her all the abuse he put your mother through and everything he exposed you to. Acknowledge that the grief wasn't his fault, but it was his responsibility to deal with. You also lost a sister, your mother lost a child, and he left you alone to handle it. Lay it all out for her and any of his relatives. He is upset because he is facing consequences, and without any actual apology, you do not see the point in dealing with the man who failed you.